Ron Carey won through an illegal strike, and he paid the price for it out of his own pocket. Juxtapose that to Sean O'Brien being used by one of the most anti-labor administrations of my lifetime.
We've got a caller from a 317 area code. 317 area code. Let's go ahead and bring them on the line. 317 area code. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Heartland Teamster again. Can y'all hear me?
Heartland Teamster, I can hear you. What's on your mind?
Well, lately I've been really concerned about this Fifth District, Fifth Circuit Court decision about the NLRA, about the NLRB. And I think the concerning thing to me is, obviously it's very concerning to, think about the NLRA sort of just being blinked out of existence.
Right.
But what's more concerning to me is that the NLRA and the NLRB will continue to, be around just for the boss more than for the worker. And, our rights will be hamstrung and the bosses will be left in place. And I think this sort of goes with a theme that labor has been experiencing for some time now, where we're just playing defense. We're just trying to hold on to what we have left, and what we are is we're being slow boiled. We're the frog in the pot being slow boiled, and the changes are little by little. Our rights, they just get chipped away, where it's not acute. It's not, we're not noticing it. And then, suddenly we've been cooked. And I think this sort of speaks to what y'all were talking about earlier with this business unionism, this service model where you're not interested in, you're interested in what your union can do for you and not, the broader labor movement. The Teamsters just organized a warehouse Kroger distribution, I believe it is. It's called Zenith, and me and some of my brothers, we were reading their contract, and it's better than the UPS contract. And as a UPS package car driver, I am excited to hear this, because for so long we've heard, you guys have the best wages in the industry. You guys are, you should deal with these bad conditions because you're so well compensated, and your job is such a good job that you need to put up with, the slow grind on your body. You need to put up with supervisor harassment. We hear this from our own union, not just management. We hear this out of the mouth of our own union. And it scares me that unions are just playing defense, and and all of these forces around us are being sort of slow boiled, right? They're slow boiling us, and we're just sitting back playing defense, pretending like it's still the heyday, right? And that we're still powerful, even though the foundation of what we have is being whittled away. And I guess the last thing that I'll leave you with is, Jane McAlevey was talking about, some of this when it was still on the horizon. And she said that union leadership needs to wake up, right? And Sarah Nelson, to her credit, is one of those union leaders, but she is far and away in the minority. And Jane McAlevey said we need to take some bold action. We may even need to go on illegal strikes. Those are her words, not mine. She said that union leadership, it needs to be bold and it needs to be ready to take those actions. Ron Carey won our our over 70 irregular package handling article through an illegal strike. And he paid the price for it out of his own pocket. Juxtapose that to our current leadership, Sean O'Brien, who is being used as a prop by one of the most anti-labor administrations of my lifetime. So that's what I got to say.
Yeah.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's almost difficult to know what to say specifically about the Sean O'Brien stuff. It's like I'm so flummoxed by so much of what he does. And it's so important for unions to go on the offensive and to start trying to build worker power, but it's such a difficult thing to do, especially as we are being attacked, as you know, so many of the forces in the society are trying to destroy unions as an institution, at all. I understand why so many leaders are so hesitant to take a more offensive posture, but I think I think that you have to, because if you don't, then we're going to lose. I don't think that we can actually defend by defending forever. I don't think that we can do that, and we haven't been able to do. We haven't been able to do that for the last 40 years, right? For the last 40 years, we have been trying to defend by defending. And we have lost ground basically every year. And even though, and we were talking to Sarah Nelson about the loss of union density under Biden, and how the how the Biden administration really did just narrowly, as it relates to workers and unions, basically almost as much as they could have. And unions were just not able to pick up the ball and take advantage of. It's hard to. I didn't say that to blame Biden on the falling union density, or to blame the falling density on Biden. But it's just to say we had 4 years of as the American landscape goes, relatively favorable terrain, and we were not able to take advantage of it. We were still playing defense, and I don't know what to do to change it.
I don't really have a great answer other than to tell people we are in a fight or die moment. I sort of think about the UAW, not under Sean Fain, but just sort of immediately preceding him, where they went on strike because they knew, hey, we may not be in a strong position, but this is a moment. This is an existential moment, and I think this is an existential moment for us and for the entire country. But I think we have to. Sean O'Brien is in an election right now, and it's sort of in a place where we are not sure what that challenge is going to look like, how powerful that challenge is going to be, or and I think it's sort of, yet to be proven that, Brother Hooker is going to be something different, from Sean O'Brien. But the point of me saying that is that Sean O'Brien is going to be touring the country asking you for your vote, right? And every Teamster brother and sister, what we need to do in our union is we need to put it to him. We need to say, why are you meeting with these anti-labor ghouls, right? Why haven't you played hardball with UPS, right? Why did we sell out the part-timers during that last contract campaign? Because one of the things that happened, you talk about raising the floor, we sold out the part-timers, and then we saw huge feeder layoffs, and those feeder drivers went back into the building, and their pay rate got dropped down to the prevailing rate, which was that part-time wage that they voted for, right? So you can raise the ceiling all day, right? If you don't raise the floor, you're not doing anything. That's what labor is all about. We used to say overtime was scabbing the unemployed. We used to say things like that. We We need to get back to that. We need to get back to that fight. And as Sean O'Brien is touring this country asking you for your vote, you need to say, after everything you've done, why should I vote for you? And you know what? Don't tell me. Go out and show me, because we're still in a battle with UPS right now.
Right.
That's what I can say from a Teamsters perspective. And I encourage every union member, hold your leadership accountable. Run for office. Run for office. It's hard. You may be retaliated against. Retaliation is a huge problem in the Teamsters. Yeah. But we need to fight. It's
really
it's
quickly.
Fight or die. And sometimes that's against our own union.
Yeah, really quickly, Heartland Teamster, you mentioned that, Sean O'Brien is going to be touring the country and speaking to people, asking for people's votes. One of the places that he's going to be at asking for people's votes, although the TDU is for some reason kind of trying to act like Sean O'Brien's speech at the TDU is not going to be a campaign speech, it seems. I don't know why they would say that. It seems like that's obviously why he would be there. But and they're not allowing Richard Hooker to speak in a similarly prime time speaking slot at the TDU convention. And now, you can go on their Facebook page, Teamsters for a Democratic Union, and look at it. And they've got a letter explaining why they're not doing that. And there's some of it that I'm like, okay, well, I understand. I don't where the TDU is coming from. Like they say that Richard Hooker is. I don't think he's a member of the TDU. I don't even know if he has been a member of the TDU. But they said that he just requested a speaking slot like last week or something, and they're like, look, the program is set. Our speakers are already confirmed. Our convention is days away. Registration is closed. Like, there's no way that this just came to your attention and that now you want to speak. And so, like, we can't allow it. And so, or we can't do it. Like, there's not room. And so, like, I understand that, I think, and maybe I'm being too charitable, but like they go on and they talk about how, they say something about making a campaign speech on the floor, like we don't want to let you make a campaign speech on the floor or something like that. And it's just like, well, that's what Sean O'Brien's going to be doing. I mean, if that's, I don't know. What do you make of that? What do you make of the TDU not letting Richard Hooker speak at the convention?
Well, the TDU is such a disappointment. I was a 5-year TDU member, and I'm not anymore. And a lot of that had to do with our past, with this last UPS contract campaign, and sort of them talking a big game, and then when they get calls from the Marble Palace, they pull back those real that real tough opposition. I think TDU, I think it's about dollars and cents. I think their adjacency to power gets them grant money, and it legitimizes them and allows them to get more membership dues, and I think it's really shameful what the TDU has been doing, and not necessarily when it comes to letting Richard Hooker speak, but I think the fact that they are they've banned a number of members, a number of people who are not part of the TDU but wanted to come to the TDU convention, and they've banned members of the TDU who are dissenting voices. I don't know if you saw Sean O'Brien got confronted by a Teamster member at the 2024 labor notes, I believe it was. And that's one of the reasons that they cite, that they don't want that dissent. And I think dissent is important in a democratic institution. I mean, isn't that Teamsters for a Democratic Union? Isn't dissent a part of democracy? So I think TDU should honestly be ashamed. I think that they have the chance to get right on this, but they need to do it now. The daylight is quickly fading for them to be able to get on the right side of history when it comes to pushing for democracy in our union, because I think they've sort of they're on the path to selling out and to becoming just, another member of the nonprofit industrial complex, not a workers organization. So, I mean, that's my plea to the TDU is look inward at what you did during the contract campaign and what you're doing right now with Sean O'Brien, and search your soul and really say, like, are we for the workers? Are we really for democracy in the union, or are we for grant money? Are we for more dues money? So that's my like earnest plea towards the TDU. And those are kind of my thoughts on it.
Heartland Teamster, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.